Congratulations, you just finished your phone interview. Now you're gonna get prepared for your in-person interview. Today we're gonna talk about 6 things that you should have with you so that you are most prepared and most organized while headed in to your in-person interview. Hi, my name is Wendy and you are here with Career Elevations. In this YouTube channel, we talk all about leaving the position that you hate and how to get into the position that you've always wanted to get into. If this sounds like something that you're interested, make sure to stay tuned. If you want to work with me directly one-on-one, then please go ahead and click in the show notes below, work with Wendy, and I'd be happy to see how we can work best together. If you don't already have a Padfolio, I will highly suggest you to go and purchase a Padfolio. This is going to allow you to keep everything that you need to take to an interview within this one space. So if you normally take in a wallet or a purse or your phone, which please don't take in your phone, but if you need to, you can keep everything right inside of here. Not only can you put some of the contents of your purse in here, you can put in everything else minus one thing that I'm going to describe to you today inside of your Padfolio. So the first thing that I'm going to recommend you to bring to an interview is, of course, your Padfolio. Now, inside of a Padfolio, you are typically going to have a spot for notes. So when you're going through the actual interview, they're going to ask you lots and lots of questions. You're going to have to remember a lot of things. So you don't accidentally remember the wrong thing, you can go ahead and take notes. Now, with having this full sheet is fabulous, but in addition to that, I'm also going to recommend for you to bring a small notebook. This is because if they give you a tour of the workspace and they take you out of the interviewing room, rather than having to take your whole Padfolio, all you have to do is take your pad of paper and slip it in your pocket so that you can continue to take notes walking through the office. Obviously, with having notepad, that means that you're going to have a pen as well. I will tell you that some office managers, some hiring managers will actually take points away, if you will, from your interview if you don't have some of these things, including a pen. Now, if you have a pen and it happens to die and you need to ask for a pen, that is another solution. There's another way around it, if you will. But in my Padfolio, I currently have 5 pens. I have one that I came with that I don't like to write with. This is my favorite pen, and then I've got 3 additional colors. I don't need that many pens, but I'm prepared. If one dies, I have 4 more. The chances of all 4 of them or all 5 of them dying is extremely slim. So again, be prepared, be ready for note-taking, and have your Padfolio. You're going to want to have your resume, your cover letter, and your references to bring with you. But rather than just bringing those, I'm going to suggest you to have it in a folder so that when you get into the interviewing room and it is your turn to take a seat in the interviewing room and you're going to begin, then you can say, would you like a copy of my resume? Or you can say, would you like a copy of the documents that I brought for you today? You can literally just hand them the entire folder and they can either take the pages that they want, they can continue to have everything slipped into the folder. That is totally fine as well. Now, we have talked about this before with having your resume, your cover letter, and your references all color coordinated. This is because if they happen to be looking through a pile of resumes and they separate all of the resumes away from the cover letters and the references, it will be easier for them to match yours up with with your own papers instead of another candidate's. So this is what mine looks like. You can tell from the front view that all 3 of them look very, very similar because I have my profile picture on all of them. Now, I have a light green background for my resume, and then for my cover letter, it is green and white, and same thing for my references. It's green and white. So they're able to put it back together very easily and very quickly. With having to bring paper to your interview, I'm also going to suggest you to bring my little PDF that you can print off. This PDF has interview notes that you can ask the interviewer. It is 3 pages, and I actually have a video on this. It's called Interviewing the Interviewer. Yes, that's correct. And you can ask them all of these questions. Now, I don't want you to just print this off and go to the interview, but rather, I would like you to print it off, and then with enough time in advance, I want you to go onto their social media, go onto their website, and any other information about the company that you can find, and start taking notes on the paper. So this gives you a really good overview. If you're interviewing at several places, this gives you a very good overview of what this office has to offer you in comparison to some other offices. So if the office you're going to go into, the next interview, offers you a position, and then the next day when you haven't decided yet, another office gives you the position, you can go back and look at your notes and compare them side by side directly. And because this format is the same for both of the questions, it will be easiest to be able to compare apples to apples. Earlier this week, I put myself in your shoes. I actually went on and applied. So basically, I did all of these steps, and then in my brain, I mentally prepared myself, and in my brain, I pretended that I already had the phone interview and that my next step was to go to the interview. So what I did was I printed these questions off, the interview notes, and I started filling it out. So obviously you can fill out the company name, the date of your interview, the hiring manager, and then I also, the very easiest, the very first thing is the days and the hours that you're going to work for this company. Now this can vary drastically, and if they don't have it on their website, the hours, then you can leave it blank, and that's another question that you can ask them in the interview. On top of that, I was also able to go onto their Facebook page and watch some videos they had and look at the photos that they had and see who the employees were. With doing so, this was a very small office. With doing so, I can take notes. Obviously this is blank, but I can take notes here and I can write their names down. So when you go into an interview and they say, "Hi, my name is Sarah," and she is the receptionist, you already have her name written down, and you can think back from when you wrote it down, and you can picture her face in your brain and her name and where it goes and where it's associated. So you can remember Sarah's name, the receptionist, you can remember her name easier because you've already taken those steps. You've already seen her face on social media or on the website, and you can easily associate the two. Let's go for a short little story time right here, okay? So I have spoken to many different hiring managers, and they all usually have some quirks about them, which is totally okay. It is their way of interviewing. It's totally okay. So the first one is I have a friend who is a hiring manager, and she has been for like 20 years. She says that if you don't bring a pen to the interview, you automatically go at the bottom of her pile because it shows that you did not plan ahead of time. You didn't get ready ahead of time so that you simply can have a pen. Because usually when you go in, you're gonna have to fill out some paperwork, you're gonna have to fill out an application. If you get the job the same day, that's wonderful. You are ready to fill out your W-2 or your I-9 or whatever you're gonna have to fill out. The second thing that I often hear from hiring managers is they will automatically put you at the bottom of their list if you do not have interview questions prepared. Now, I've solved this problem for you, and I've got those questions. Oh, I don't think I told you earlier where you can find them. If you go to my website, careerelevation.net, there is a purple banner up at the top. It is your free gift, which is these interview notes. You can download it for free and take this to be more prepared to your next interview. If you have printed it off, if you have downloaded it, please send me an email or drop a comment below. I would love to celebrate with you, because if you downloaded this, that means that you are preparing for your interview. And I am so excited. Let me celebrate with you. How many times in your car have you spilled coffee down the front of your dress or your blazer? Me, I know that I have done it way too many times to count. This leads me to say, I'm going to highly encourage you to bring a secondary outfit and have it in your car. Have it hanging up so that it doesn't get wrinkled. Have it hanging up in the back of your car, so if you happen to drip coffee or water or soda or lunch, a lot of times interviews are on lunch or directly after work. If you get anything on your outfit, you're able to easily change. So I want you to have an entire outfit change, and make sure that the shoes are going to match as well, because that's an easy thing to forget about. Have an outfit. Don't forget about a blazer or a sweater to bring with you as well. The next tip that I've got for you is not something to bring with you, but it's something to do on the way to an interview. I have conducted thousands of interviews over my span of hiring, and I can tell you that one of the biggest problems that people tend to have is being nervous. And this shows in so many different ways. So because you are listening to this or you're watching this after your phone interview, which means you're getting prepared for your in-person interview, I want you the night before and on the way to the interview, I want you to try to get rid of some of those nervous butterflies in your belly. And by doing so, I want you to rock out in your car. I want you to jam in your car so that you can help get some of those nervous butterflies out of your system and instead turn them into beautiful little butterflies. So we all don't want to be nervous, right? Like, the nervous aspect in us just really kind of stinks sometimes. So start listening to something or start doing something the night before, the day of, on the way there. Start doing something or listening to something that will help boost your confidence. In some of the other videos, I have talked about the Amy Cuddy power pose, which is just standing with your hands on your hips and your shoulder width apart, and you are just breathing in the confidence. That is what Amy Cuddy does. She just stands there for 2 minutes straight. She doesn't necessarily listen to music, although I think that that could be a very good additive to this power pose. When doing so, you will help melt away that nervousness and get you into a more confident and positive stage before going into your interview. If you've got a few days before your interview and you are wanting to do a mock interview, I do that one-on-one with my clients. So go ahead and click in the show notes below, Work with Wendy, and then in there you'll be able to see the mock interview. Let's get the best prepared that we can. I don't think that that was very good grammar or English. Let's be the most prepared that we can be. That sounds much better. Let's be the most prepared that we can be going into an interview, because in having preparedness means that we are so much more inclined to be able to get that position. If you have an interview scheduled, I would love to be able to celebrate with you in the comments below. So go ahead and let me know when your interview is, and let's all celebrate together. Thank you so much for watching. Until next week, keep elevating your career.